And away we go with our first final of the day in lane number 3, Great Britain 6:19.21, their time to go into the final, and the Italians 6:20.76 took them directly into today's final. So precious little between the two crews in the favoured lanes 3 and 4. Favoured only in the sense that that's the way the echelon system works. So you can see there it's Italy and Great Britain virtually bow to bow, but just the Italians just beginning to get the edge as we visit Croatia on the far side of the regatta course. And two pretty important members of their crew, very experienced, Igor Boraska and Oliver Martinov, who were silver medalists in last year's 8. Here are the Germans, coached by Dieter Gran, pretty young crew, early 20s, all of them. And hopefully we'll get a close-up view pretty shortly of the British. But that's a bright start made by the Italians. But here's Britain with Kieran West in the stroke seat.
Kieran West, and behind him Luca Grubor. We didn't see Luca in the heats race because he damaged his back in the shower a couple of hours before the race and was replaced by Simon Fieldhouse for the heat. He's come back in fully fit for the final and is back. Behind him is Steve Trapmore. And he, Kieran West and Luca were the 3 members of the Olympic 8, which were champions in 2000. They've not had a happy career in the 8 since then, and they pulled out of the 8 just before Munich Regatta 6 weeks ago, went into the 4, performed in the coxless 4 at Munich, creditably, but didn't win it, and took the coxed 4 post for this championship regatta. We've only seen them in one Cox 4 race. They were triumphant and very, very strong in that. But it's going to be them and the Italians, I think, who will be racing it over the next 1,500 metres of this course.
United States, coached by Mike Tatey, who'll have his fingers crossed that his 8's going to perform as well as it did in the Lucerne World Cup Regatta. That's right at the end of the day, the absolute finale to the World Championships. And Slovenia, well, they are a new outfit, but quite unusual to get 3 members of a family in one boat.
Very unusual when one of them's the cox. Normally, if you're bred from the same stock, you're all big enough to row, or you're all too small to row, and you end up in the cox's seat. I think this is very much a younger brother in this position.
Italy from Great Britain, as you can see, lane 4 from lane 3, and then to the British right there you can see Germany, and then on the far side Croatia. The 2 crews are out of picture at the moment, United States in 5 and Slovenia in lane number 6.
This race is, however, developing interestingly. The Italians went out trying to establish a strong lead over the British, who they certainly see as their chief threat. They took about half a length, but they're already being pegged back, and the rest of the field is crawling back towards them. And it looks to me as if the British are just using their mid-race pace, no special bursts or anything, to come towards level with the Italians at this stage, just after 500 metres gone.
So the British were most recently successful, of course, in the 2000 edition of this particular race. That was Richard Dunn, Toby Garbett, Smith and Williams completing that quartet, and of course they've largely gone on to greater things, you would arguably say, in the 4, although yesterday was a desperate disappointment for them to just fail to peg back the Germans. But again, I think the Germans deserve a lot of credit for the way they rode in the 4s yesterday. But you can see the British now just perhaps beginning to get the upper hand over the Italians, who've never actually succeeded in this particular boat category.
Little burn and pulled straight through the Italians. It took them about 3 strokes to move from a canvas down to half a length up, and now they're really moving nicely. It's wonderful to see these 3. Tom Stallard in the bow seat, he shouldn't be discounted. He came in out of the Cambridge Boat Race 8. He was president of the Cambridge Boat Club in that thrilling boat race that we had back in April. Joined the squad through the trials, went into the 8 with these 3. It didn't work, as I say, and they really had to scratch their heads and decide what to do next. Went into the 4, and they look very strong indeed for this. They've taken a length in that 500 metres, moved ahead of Italy, and are set fair for the second half of the course towards the finish.
Well, this is very encouraging. Britain, who actually put 13 boats into the finals. Of course, mixed fortunes yesterday, but that stunning performance by Pinsent and Cracknell well, the vibrations from that, the talk about that echoing around the bars all over Seville last night, and likely to be so back home with all of you in England. But now the British four with clear water, and look at the Germans coming up in second place now. The Italians clearly, Hugh, with not much water left, have not got much to offer.
No, they've not got much to offer. We're within sight of the finish. The Brits are looking very strong, rowing 42 strokes per minute. They have got the Germans chasing them, but I think that they're safe to get to the line first. They rowed very aggressively to win back in Sydney, the three of them from the Sydney 8. They know that they've got to go out in front and hang on. They took front just at the right position, and they're looking absolutely superb as they come towards the line now. Germany closing on them slightly, but well back for in silver medal position.
And the Italians now being overhauled by the Croatians on the far side, and the Croatians, who've had very good success in so many sweep oar categories, are going to take a bronze medal here, and they have gone past the Italians with a superb burst of speed, particularly in the last quarter, and nobody travelling faster than the Croatians, and they get a worthy bronze medal. Germany takes silver, and the British are delighted, Hugh, to have recaptured this time.